Hi, this is Eva for Midnight Mandela. Welcome, everybody. Um, Also, for Once Upon a Timeline, I guess I goofed up my opening lines. Off to a good start. Okay, it's been a little slow this week for Mandelas anyway. So if you guys have any, now's the time because I actually did look for some and I didn't find many and I kind of gave up. It's just slow. So I was reading Shari's thing. That was kind of interesting. She said she felt cold water, like in the dream, it felt cold, which I don't think I've ever really felt water in a dream, come to think of it. In fact, for me, that's been a little bit of a Mandela, is that it used to be that I felt water more in waking as well. Like when I got under the shower, it used to feel like so good on my head, and now it just feels ordinary. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not the in-depth experience that it used to be. And that's been a few years now that that's changed. In the dreams, I do feel like my dreams have changed. Like, for me, slowly, but it's like they're noisier. I can hear a lot of talking and voices, especially like in between you're totally zonked out but you're half awake zone. Um, I don't know. The nature of them have definitely changed, I would say. So for a long time, I remember my dreams really well, and that was when I was not in very good health. So when I got my health much better, I actually don't remember my dreams as well since then, because my sleep used to suck, I think, and I was like closer to waking, like my sleep wasn't as deep as it should be. But it even so, yes, it is. It has changed, but not in the way Shari's has. It seems. Let's see. I'm just reading. Don't you hate it when Uranus retrogrades? I don't know if that's a joke or if it really did. I'm surprised that nobody remembers people never drove with front lights on during the daytime. That for me was true like 30 years ago. And then they slowly added the daytime running lights in. So I don't know, maybe in some timelines it was very recent. But yeah, long ago. I think maybe like 25 years ago that started. They've been just sliding them in slowly. So really old vehicles still don't have that. I mean, unless 30. When did daytime running lights start? Okay, let me just look at that. Daytime running lights. So that's what we call them here in America anyway, daytime running lights. So a lot of vehicles have them set so you can have it automatically come on. Also, California a few years back made a law that if you have your windshield wipers on, you must have your running lights on or your headlights on. Daytime. Wait. No. What I want is wiki. All right, hold on. The official reality in wiki. Running lamp. Daytime running lamp. Never heard of it called a daytime running lamp. Actually, I don't know. Okay. Is an automotive lighting and bicycle lighting device on the front of a road-going motor vehicle. Let's see. Where's implementation? I don't see any dates. A 2008 study by U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration analyzed the effects, probably blah blah, found it good. Okay. Involved cut down on traffic crashes by 5.7%. Yeah, okay. All right, so in 2008 they were studying it. So one would imagine that a fair number of them were out by then. 2006, UK's Department of Transport found significant reductions in emissions and fuel consumption. Oh, they're talking about the different systems. Okay, blah, blah. I don't care about that. European Union directive such and such required all passengers, cars, and small delivery vans approved on or after February 2011 in the EU to come equipped with daytime running lights. 2011. Okay, so they've been required for 11 years in the EU, at least on new vehicles. European Union ended validity on. Okay, they repealed. Okay, mandate extended to trucks in August 2012. All right, anyway, you get there. So around 2011, they became required. I'm going to assume that they were out before that. I don't think they're required here, but. My dreams are nothing like a dream anymore. The color, the people, voice, places are like real. So for me, I always dreamed in color. And I have had some limited numbers of dreams where I tasted things. Like I remember once I had this pizza. It's funny, it was a dream from eons ago, but man, that pizza was so good in that dream. And I don't usually taste stuff in my dreams, but I have. Or there'll be a mild sugar flavor I might get. Yeah, I don't think I experience like the sensations that much other than vision and color. Rarely. I don't remember getting heat. I don't remember pain that much. I think something's going to hurt, but then, I'll wake up or something instead. So maybe there's room for advancement there, but I'm not really sure I want to feel physical things in the dream because what if bad ones happen? YouTuber Scott Harrison accidentally discovered Mars is no longer Earth's nearest planet neighbor. Now it's Venus. Let's see. I thought Venus is all right, we're third rock from the sun. Now, a lot of people do remember us being fourth rock from the sun for a while. I am not sure. I have to say I'm pretty weak on the solar system stuff. I do know that Mars used to be close to our size. So that Mars thing has changed a lot for me. All right, let's see. Where are we here? Noink. Let's get the kid version. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Okay, so we're sandwiched between Venus and Mars still. So I guess now they're just saying what Venus is a little closer than Mars. I'm not sure I remember. I remember Mars being very similar in size, but now you can see Venus is very similar in size. I'm sure that Mars was dry. Now it's got, ice and water and all kinds of stuff. And it was the closest to us in size. So that was like, it was our like closest twin was because of size. And yeah, actually it was just because of size. And Venus, though, for me, you couldn't land on that sucker because it was just roiling gases. So now I guess it's got like some kind of crust under there and they were able to land on it. But that was not the case. I know crap all about Mercury. It's the often ignored planet. If it changed, I wouldn't know. But we might want to keep an eye on that one because it's strangely out of the limelight all the time. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing then that just they're saying Venus is a tad closer than Mars now. And I don't know. On that one. Sorry. Mexico's longer and narrower. Yeah, all of the countries really are changed. I can't even watch YouTube anymore. I only want to read books. What is happening to me? I've definitely gone through periods of my life where I suddenly, like I used to read a lot and then I didn't want to read anymore. Now I do read some, There was a while I watched a lot of movies and I didn't watch any. Now I'll watch them again if they're good. I actually do like watching, I like listening to videos because I can listen at work, but that's a kind of different thing. Oh, what is that thing in the. Yeah, it's a bird. The thumbnail's a bird. We call those mere coet. You know, I only just saw those a few weeks ago ever, and they're apparently all over the world. And then one of the listeners said, "What about Eurasian coot is what it's called." Jay Emblin mentioned it. I had kind of thought about it, and then I forgot. And then Jay Emblin's like, "What about these birds?" I'm like, "All right, it's a good plan to have those on, especially considering I have almost no Mandelas today." Mars is the same size as Mercury. Oh yeah, it does look like that, huh? Planet closest in size to Mars. So it used to be Earth was the closest. It does look like solar system. All right, planets in order by size. Hold on. In order of size. Okay, so Mars and Venus, then Earth and Neptune. So Mars is closest in size to Mercury. Yeah, looks like it. Mercury is, what are these kilometers? Diameter in kilometers? It's only 4,879 kilometers. It seems tiny. Okay, so Mercury is 4,879 kilometers. Mars is 6,779. And Venus is 12,104. So there's a big jump from Mars. Venus is twice the size of Mars, but Mars is only, what is that, a third larger than Mercury. So yeah, Mars is closest to Mercury. So I remember Mars being really close to Earth. And that's a very strong memory for me. Like, I'm really sure of it. I mean, I heard it a million times. They're like, it's like our sister planet. That was the big thing about it was closest to us and it was a similar size, and they're like, well, it probably got formed via similar processes and it's a similar slot in the orbit, so it makes sense that it would be similar size, blah blah blah. I guess you could say the same thing about Venus, but that was just it's a gas ball before. You couldn't land on that, so there was no question. So it's not the same size, but it's closest in size, a little bit larger. Third rock from the sun. Wait, hold on. Yeah, we are third rock from the sun now. Earth is. Okay, third rock from the sun. You scared me for a minute. So yes, when third rock from the sun came out, it was Earth. But a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I would say some people remember it being fourth rock from the sun. I come to think of it though, if fourth rock is Mars, I don't know that show. I know, did he come from Mars? I don't know where he came from, but maybe they were saying he came from Mars if Mars was third rock. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. For some reason, I just didn't really pay attention to the whole layout much, but I always remembered that thing about Mars. Like, I didn't really care about all those others, but I did care about Mars. Pluto. Well, Pluto's a whole nother drama. Oh, it's a planet. Oh, no, it's not a planet. Oh, it's a pseudo planet. I'm wondering if it changed size through timelines and they couldn't decide. I'm finishing 2 books a day, 250 pages. Well, dang, I don't even have that much time in a day. Even when I used to read like crazy, I don't think I... But, you know, I had school and stuff then, so it'd be impossible. Yeah, Venus is way bigger, definitely. Jewett Beltex sheep. Check the Jewett Beltex sheep. I don't think I've checked that one. Jewett Beltex sheep. What, it's like a half cow or something? I'm confused on what the deal is here. I have not seen those before, I don't think, though. So, I don't know. Are they shaving them like that? Is that the drill? And then the face is weird. It looks like a pig, cow, sheep thing or something. All right, let's just look at a normal sheep. Okay. Normal sheep. All right, so there's this Jewett Beltex sheep, whatever the heck, and then there's a normal one. It's funny that there's just subtle differences in the face, but yet it looks like a totally different thing. The head, it just doesn't look like a sheep head. All right. So is there anything particular I'm supposed to be looking at? I don't know. Are they shaving them like this or what? They're like, now this one looks like somebody's dog. It looks like a Rottweiler sheep. Okay, I'm going to look these up. See if there's anything I should know here. An offshoot of Texel sheep from the Netherlands. Look at that face. Beltex rams are prized for mating with ewes to produce lambs for meat. White-faced sheep with medium-length wool is best known for extremely heavy muscling, especially in the hindquarters. Okay, so that's why they're shaving them weird, because they're all buffed out. Yeah, that does it. You can't really appreciate it because the wool hides a lot of it. But you're right, I don't remember the hindquarters being all buffed out like that. All right, so here they are just strolling around. Okay, yeah, that's why they look weird, because their hindquarters are out like that, and their stomachs are fat. They just don't like have a sheep body. They have the wool, and the head doesn't look like a sheep either. It looks like some kind of a sheep pig combo or something. Interesting. Oh, they left Pluto off. Yeah. Well, Pluto is a pseudo planet, right? Last I checked, it's now a pseudo planet. So I think that was just the planets. Yeah, Mars. I agree with Bit of Venom. Mars was the closest. Scott Harrison finds amazing Emmys. Is he putting up Emmys again? Because I haven't seen much Emmy activity from him. In fact, didn't he just like take down all his Emmys and all his show? I'll have to check and see if he's back. Because last I remember, he took down almost all of his Mandela videos, and then he was doing other stuff, and occasionally he'd just do something where he was exploring the area or something. Looks like a cow or a bulldog. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a cow, sheep, pig, huh? I don't know what. It just doesn't look right. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about that thumbnail. Speaking of weird animals, so here we go. Here's the feet of it. It's called the Eurasian coot, coot. So the weird thing is the wiki just describes these as webbed feet, but this is not webbing as I would call it. I would consider webbing like there is attachment between the toes, but this is not really webbed at all. It's like flat outcroppings from the toes. You know, I don't know if I'd call this webbing. It's totally bizarre. See if I can get it. No, I think that just makes it larger. Make it small. I don't know. It's like it gets bigger. I can't. At one point it was small, but let's see. Maybe that way. Okay. Oh, it doesn't have the whole bird. Okay. Here is one. Somewhere I had one. I thought I had one. No. Well, let's fix that. Eurasian coot. Actually, though, let's just read on it since I have this up. So one thing that was neat, though, is that they just describe it as a swimming species. The coot has partial webbing on its long, strong toes. That's all it says. Doesn't say anything about the color, even though right here it shows this crazy color. I mean, is this maybe it wasn't that weird before, and that's why they're not commenting on it? It should say something about its distinctive crazy effing feet. It has a slatty black body, a gloss black head, and a white bill with a white frontal shield. Not sure what that is. What's a frontal shield? A facial shield or a front plate. Okay, so it has this weird thing on the front of its face here. Okay, birds are getting all kinds of weird crap like that. The sexes are similar. Similar looking coot species are found throughout the world, with the largest variety of coot species living in South America. Okay, so this is kind of confusing because it shows this as just a Eurasian coot. It says there's 4 kinds. It doesn't say anything about the feet. So if you were describing this bird and it had this feet, wouldn't you first say, you know, at least say, and has known for its distinctive blue webbed something feet? I mean, there should be some scientific description of the crazy feet other than webbed. There's no description of the color, although I don't know if all of these species have it, but see this one, there's no even link to it. I don't know if these are all over the world, but there's no links to these subspecies. Up here it says they're similar looking. So do they all have the crazy feet? I don't know. It just seems like then we've got kind of a short wiki here. It just seems to me like a bird like that would it's worldwide. It deserves a little more description than what we got here. They are old world. The coot breeds across much of the old world. Europe, Asia, Australia, and Africa. New Zealand. Migrates further south and west from much of Asia in winter as the waters freeze. Another thing about this bird is it is known to sneak its eggs into another coot's nest. Now, way back, there was only one bird that did that, but now tons of birds do that, including coots, apparently. Apparently, if they don't feel like they're strong enough to raise the eggs, or they're feeling weak or whatever, they'll slide their eggs into another nest. Very sneaky. These birds are also mean to their chicks. If the chicks beg for food and the parents don't have it, they'll peck the babies until they shut up. Sometimes they'll even kill the babies by pecking them. I've not heard of that kind of behavior from birds before, but the new world, the new era is sort of crude. Eurasia was a continent for me. Eurasia. There was just the one. Instead, now it's Europe and Asia. They're two continents. Yeah, so it's not feathers. Looks like it's some kind of fleshy, um, I don't know. What would you even scientifically call those? Tastes like chicken. Almost nobody from old times is making any videos. Yep. I think part of it is maybe you just get like the Mandelas just seem less exciting over time. After a couple years, you're less shock and awe when they hit. Um, so that might be part of it. I think some people in the UK got a little bit spooked by the pandemic happenings and they were a little worried about speaking their mind on things. And indeed, I have to be careful also. But I don't have to be careful because of the United States. I just have to be careful because of YouTube, at least currently. So, I mean, people would call Eurasia Eurasia for me. And it was just the one continent, Europe and Asia. It wasn't two. Although it's quite different looking now. Africa should be part of this supercontinent. I'm not. So for me, that was chunks of land determined, and large chunks of land were continents. The smallest chunk was Australia. But now they have other parameters that don't make any sense to me. Like, so Eurasia was a big chunk, Africa was a big chunk, North America was a big chunk, South America was a big chunk, and Antarctica and Australia. Those were the chunks. It was just simple then, big chunks. So you wouldn't include Africa with Eurasia because they were separate chunks just with this little stringy connection. Slow loris primate with poisonous venom bite. Slow loris. I don't think I've heard of a monkey with a venomous bite before. All right, let's check out the wiki. I'm writing this down. Boink. Now, slow lorises have been around for a while. I don't think they were around 20 years ago, but they're not the newest Emmy on the block. All right, here we go. Slow lorises have a toxic bite, a trait rare among mammals and unique among primates. The toxin is obtained by licking a sweat gland under their arm, and the secretion is activated by mixing with saliva. So I guess they're immune to their own poison then. Gosh, this sounds a little familiar. I wonder if I did cover this a long time ago. I do remember something about licking some kind of gland. Their toxic bite, once thought to be primarily a deterrent to predators, has been discovered to be primarily used in disputes within species. Within species. I don't really get, so is it like, is the bite toxic when injected but not in the stomach? Because if you're licking a toxin from a sweat gland on their arm, mixing it with your saliva to activate it, now it's in your effing mouth. So It just seems a little strange. Like snakes, they'll bite and then they'll inject the toxin out of their, last I checked, out of their syringe like fangs. So they're not, you know, sucking down the toxin directly. I had to say this kind of thing really gives more weapons to the creationists too, because you kind of have to ask how something like this would just develop with Darwin's evolution. It's pretty hard to grok. The secretion from the arm contains a chemical related to cat allergen, but may be augmented by secondary toxins from the diet in wild individuals. Okay, now that's just getting weird. So now we've got, I've been talking about this in the past, this whole thing where you eat something and then you like take out the poison somehow and accumulate it in your body somewhere and use it. So now we have this weird thing, like 2 or 3 of the weird things coming together. They're either vulnerable or endangered. I kind of feel like this is part of my mechanism to know like how long it's been in existence on Earth. So if they're critically endangered, they're pretty new on, and I've never heard of them. They're pretty new, and then they move slowly to vulnerable and endangered. At the same time, the wiki listing gets longer and longer as so look, this guy has a pretty hefty, look at this. This is a nice hefty meaty wiki listing. Whereas the creature with the weirdest feet I've ever seen in my life has a very short one. Not the shortest I've ever seen, but short. Look at those things. They look like little weird panda things or something. Coloration patterns around the eyes different between slender lorises and slow lorises. I think those slender lorises might be a little newish. I've never heard of slender lorises, only of slow lorises. All right, got that one. Dennis Branham's in. I never even said who all's in, so welcome all you guys. One of the reasons I put the notification out early is because I'd hope you guys would come with a bunch of Mandelas, because I don't have that many. All right, Slow Loris done. I think that was me hunting for him. Eurasian coot. Did we ever go and actually look at them full size? That wiki was just weird though, because it doesn't really, like, which ones have the fancy feet then and which ones don't. Okay, so you see the face shield, that's that white thing. I thought that was just coloration until I read the wiki actually. So the face shield, is it maybe some kind of protective device now? So this white thing up between the eyes is like a shield. Okay, that guy definitely has the weird feet. This guy has the weird feet. It looks so ridiculous. I mean, I just don't see how I didn't see it until a couple weeks ago. And then Jay Emblin mentions the exact same thing. Like, he hasn't seen them. So, okay, this guy has them. If they're like kind of global and they have these really weird feet, I just don't see how a bunch of us never heard of it. And Jay Emblin is always finding, he's always eyeballing the animal Mandelas too. So he's sharp on the animals. This is kind of interesting that I'm just seeing these babies here. It looks like the babies are going to have like a whole nother bunch of color. I mean, look at, it's got like a orange and red head. It does not have the facial shield. So this is like a whole nother color. It's got crazy, look at this. So it's got this crazy extra, it's got gray hair, but then like neon yellow, kinky ones that stick out. Then it's got like this really bright red around the beak. Some red here. There's no facial shield on it. I guess that grows later. Look at the ear hole is massive. It's like a weird looking creature, even the babies. I wonder if we'll get more weirdness out of these. This one shows the face shield. So, yeah, interesting. It's got like a whole spoon on its head. Very sleek look. Looks like it's eating some kind of green stuff here. So they're said to be omnivores. Somehow, let's see. I need to put it up on the live chat again, right? Yes. There's poison removing rocks. Even the tongue is white. Yeah, good point, actually. That it is weird with a white tongue. I don't know if I've seen one like that. Anyone seen Pink Elephant YouTube channel? I've seen the pink elephants on YouTube. I have not seen a channel called Pink Elephant. Rocks can also remove any poison if you throw it hard enough. I'm not sure what you're going with that one. An apartment building that I walk my dog through quite often all of a sudden has beautiful cuddly rabbits living on the property right where my dog and I enter the apartment complex. That's interesting because I never saw rabbits living in the city. And then about 2 years ago, then I started seeing rabbits all around my old workplace. And it was just strange. They're wild rabbits. I thought they would get like run over by a car or something, but it seems like they just don't. Because, you know, there's so much car activity and rabbits are usually so stupid. But the last few years, they haven't been running under my car that much. So I think there's only been one in like 3 years that ran under my car. It used to be like, you know, a monthly thing during certain seasons. There's more sort. Well, they said there's 4 sorts, but they didn't say which one has the weird feet. And then when I look it up, there's all of them that show the feet have the weird feet. So, and also the wiki said that they're all similar looking. So I guess they all have the weird feet. All right, I'm looking up these poison removing rocks. That's going to be a stretch even for the current timeline, though, I think. I don't know. Poison rocks. How to remove rocks. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to have some clues on that one. Poison removing rocks. Rocks that remove poison? Yeah, nope, just not finding it. I Pet Goat 2. Yeah, I've had that one on. 'Cause I remember it being my pet goat. And suddenly they came out with, suddenly it was my I Pet Goat, then it was I Pet Goat 2, and then I'm like, where's I Pet Goat 1? Let's just see what's up with I Pet Goat. See, there's only iPet Goat 2. Where's iPet Goat 1? And then they did come out with iPet Goat 3. So there's 2 and 3, but where's iPet Go 1? 1. Or I. I don't think I'm going to find iPet Go I. See, yeah, I mean, like, is there an iPet Go 1 somewhere in some timeline that I don't know about? Yep, still can't find it. Let's see what that Canadian animated short film. So that thing kind of just showed up in my timeline a few years ago too. I had never heard of it, and suddenly it was everywhere. And it's interesting. Yeah, see, there's no sign of it. That's another thing that just gets me. Where's the first one? Google removing more contents from internet. Well, they're removing the links to the content, right? I mean, it's still there though. Like, you're just not going to find it in the search engine. GOAT means greatest of all time. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. GOAT. It's a variation of what Bush 2 was reading. Let me just check that, because first it was My Pet Goat, and then was the book, and I Pet Goat was the movie. I remember it both being My Pet Goat. It doesn't even say anything about what it is in here. Let's see. Okay, then it's The Pet Goat. So now he was reading The Pet Goat. For me, it was My Pet Goat for both of them originally. I don't know why you change the name. Just call it The Pet Goat if it's The Pet Goat. I mean, if you're alluding to it, then if you've changed the name, you don't have to add the 2 on there. It's just, I don't know. It's just strange. Yeah, he was reading The Pet Goat now. Not I Pet Goat and not My Pet Goat. It makes no difference if you can't find it. You can still link it, and people can follow your link, though. And there'll be other search engines that might find it, like Yandex.com, the Russian search engine. Wasn't it? See, yeah, I remember My Pet Goat as the book and as the video. Then somehow it got to be I Pet Goat 2. And I don't know why it got the 2, because it didn't have the 2 for me originally. There is no 1, but there's the 2. So yes, I agree with you. It was My Pet Goat. Now there's no sign of My Pet Goat, that it was either the or I. He was holding the book upside down, My Pet Goat. Yeah, so I wonder if he's still holding it upside down. Bush, the Pet Goat. Since it's the Pet Goat in the current timeline. So way back, he wasn't holding it upside down. When 9/11 hit for me, he read it. He was reading it normally. There was no upside down. I then was at some point, I was in a timeline where I was like, oh my God, he's holding it upside down, wah, wah, wah. But that wasn't my original. So I don't know. The whole thing is shifty. Let's see. I better put in the word upside down. Here we go. Maybe I can find it on images. There we go. No. How are you even? Oh, I see. Okay, so he's not reading it. He's just listening to the girl. All right, that's not really useful, but he's got it. The heck? That doesn't say my pet goat. It says like America or something. Is that a different example of the same thing? All right. Dang it, dang it. So yeah, it's upside down. So was he just like listening while somebody else read? Because how you read something upside down is my question. Wait a minute now. That image looks like this one, and this one is called My Storybook 1. Doesn't say My Pet Goat on it. I really need to see this one. Reads to children an Emma ebook or elementary. Darn it, it doesn't say anything about it being upside down. And so that's a whole different event. I'm not sure if it happened now. This one is supposed to be hoax, but okay, so it's supposed to be a hoax now. It looks kind of like it didn't happen in the current timeline. It's now a hoax. The pet goat upside down. Ooh, look, this person remembers My Pet Goat. Ha ha ha. Bush reads My Pet Goat upside down. All right, let's see what's even in this video. I'll kill the sound. Can't even see anything in the video to really clarify what he's reading in this one. All right. That's completely useless, people. Look, this is the crap quality of the universe. I cry uncle. All right, totally useless. Definitely some interesting residue, though. Bush reads The Pet Goat to school children. So we found one video that this person remembers it, but the video, you can't tell what book it is or if it's upside down. This photo shows President Bush reading a book upside down. But it is not The Pet Goat, it's America's. And they're claiming it's been photoshopped. All right, so no good on there. The key is upside down and backwards. All right, you know what? It does not look like he read it upside down in this timeline because I only found that one video that's too blurry. I don't know what they mean by the key is upside down and backwards. Kids with Bush on 9/11 glad he finished reading My Pet Goat. More. And notice I didn't even write my in there. Yep. Nope. I don't think he read it upside down in this timeline. That's gone too. So I think it's crappy because Mandela effect does that when it's hiding stuff sometimes. I well, here's the thing, General Sorrow. If you had it upside down and you had to read it, yeah, actually, that's a good point. If so, you have to read it. You realize it's upside down. I think the minute you turned your head and saw it was upside down, you'd go, oops, and fix it, though, right? Because you're pretty sure that people are going to notice it's upside down. You haven't started reading it yet, so, you're not expected to have the book right side up. Yeah, he would just fix it. There's no way you're just going to keep leaving it upside down. I was in Reading Upside Down Reality originally. Yeah, Shari, I know we've definitely scrambled our versions some time back. I think there was a time when you remembered most of the Mandelas, same as me, but then, what was it, 6 months ago or something? Then that stopped. Yeah, the thing with the certain spots for sweet and sour. So I know sugar, sweet was on the tip, and I don't remember the rest, but yeah, then that was canon for that timeline that the taste receptors had certain spots that they were conglomerated in, and then it was an old wives' tale some years ago. It does say my pet. I don't think so. Wait, you can see it? Because I don't see it. Wait, 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 wait. I couldn't see anything on that video. You tell me you could see what it was on that video? The pet goat, often erroneously called my pet goat, is a grade school level reading exercise. Wait a minute now. It says my pet goat right there, though. Is that what they were reading? Is this one from Doctari? My pet goat CD. Doctari started primarily as a recording project. All right, it looks like that is some kind of songs or something. So we need to find the book. All right, there is one called My Pet Goat. All about My Pet Goat. Okay, I'm pretty sure that that is like how to take care of goats. You know what gets me is that absolutely cannot tell. If somebody told me that was in Chinese, I mean, literally cannot read that. What does the book even look like? All right, what does the pet goat look like? I am goat. That's not my... What the heck? Google maybe has it? Okay, I think this... This might be it. This does look like that thing. Lesson 60, The Pet Goat, or My Pet Goat by Sig. How can it be both? And the title is nowhere on here. This is just weird. I don't see a goat. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I don't know. This is just weird. The Pet Goat. A girl got a pet goat. She liked to go running with her pet goat. She played with her pet goat in her house. All right, pretty simple. All right, so there's the front of it. It does not have the actual words anywhere. It does look like the thing that he was looking at. All right, so the purple line is at the top. And in this one, the purple line is at the top. So right there is some writing that looks pretty long. And it does look like Reading Mastery 2, Storybook 1. Okay, so the timeline is consistent across these pictures. Okay, so you're not going to find the title on the front of the book. That kind of cuts down on stuff. I don't know where you guys say it says My Pet Goat, though, because I don't see it. So, like, clarify where you saw that. Because, like, did you see it on the book that Bush was holding? Because that means you're looking at something and seeing something different than I'm seeing while I'm looking at it. Residue is now hoax picture. Yeah. I've heard there's only one timeline now. Well, if there's only one, then we should not have any more shifts. But it does sound like people are still getting shifts. Can Bush read? Doubtful. I don't think Bush was... I think Bush could read. I don't think he was an idiot. I just don't think he was the genius of the universe. But... I didn't like Bush for a lot. I didn't like the war. That was my big beef with him. But I don't think he was an idiot. I think he went along with the system and Cheney was probably the brains, you know, the evil brains behind it all, but... way at the beginning. Has anybody heard of a walking library? This is way back. Let me click on that since we got nothing better to do. Two women with pin curls have paused in the street, one sporting a two-shelf bookcase stacked with slanting spines of books. The other with a volume in her gloved hands, head bowed towards the open pages. Bowed towards the open... What? Yeah. Walking library in London in the 1930s. No, I've never heard of that. That's crazy. You're not going to finish reading it. That she's not going to stand there while you read the whole book. I don't even think you could get a comic book read before she'd want to move on. That's so weird. Walking library. All right, I'm just try Googling it. Huh. Nope, I've never heard of that. I don't know how that works. Don't ask me. Oops. Uh-oh. I think I've deleted one that I wasn't supposed to delete. Oh well. They say this was what Bush was reading. Where George W. Bush read The Pet Goat on 9/11. Yeah, so this one says, wait. Yeah, so it says The Pet. It's just interesting though, because the book now has no title that where you could see what the actual name of it is, and most places are calling it The Pet Goat. One place called it The Pet Goat or My Pet Goat. It can't be named two things. There's one name for it, so that's weird. It's kind of convenient to not have the title on the front if it's going to be a shifty. I remember them saying it was upside down for a while, but like I said, it wasn't my original timeline. I was just passing through. One timeline, but other timelines keep merging into this one. I don't know, then it's not the original timeline if it's a merged timeline, right? So you want to say this is the original timeline and other timelines are merging in, or are you going to say that they're merging together like that into one timeline in the end? Well, I don't know, if there's really a huge difference between those two ways of looking at it. That we're all merging into one final timeline, I don't know, maybe. Or just there's going to be less timelines, or maybe a bunch of timelines have failed and stuff's getting harvested out of there and moved over. I don't know. Sometimes I think that might be it. The walking library lady went door to door and they could check out a book for a week for some little money. Oh, okay. You read the article. Woohoo. Glad somebody's doing it. It looks like the book, but I remember I Pet Goat written on it. Yeah, I remember seeing My Pet Goat written on it. So maybe things are so shifty that the Mandela has just taken the title off the front. Okay, so the last thing was, I've never heard of this, but now I'll have to dig it up. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard it and I'm just clueless, but I've never heard of this. I'm really suspicious though, just because we know that physics has changed, that maybe this wasn't a thing before. Plus the fact that I've never heard of it. Okay, so the story now is if you take a wooden spoon and lay it across a pot, it will stop it from boiling over. Now it'll boil up high,
so
but
somewhere
it won't boil, like,
I read
over.
that it's a life hack that you can put a wooden spoon across a boiling pot of water. It will not boil over.
It's kind of rough enough that it pops
Myth
the bubbles.
Confirmed. This is amazing.
And it just never goes over. Or you can see like that was a spatula. I've just never heard of that before. I don't know if you guys have heard anything like that. I sure have not. Hopefully that clip was short enough I don't get in trouble for it. There was an upside down goat and also a storybook. Yeah, you're right. I do remember seeing a picture of a goat on there too. It was like what you'd expect to see on the front of a book called My Pet Goat would be like a cartoon goat. So anyway, yeah. So a life hack now for the current timeline: if you're walking away from your noodles and you don't want to boil them over, put a wooden spoon or a wooden spatula over it. They're saying the wood helps like keep the bubbles from helps pop the bubbles. I don't know. See now Shari thinks that's an old trick, but I've never heard of that before. I used to always wonder what's the big whoop-de-doo-dah about wooden spoons anyways, frankly. And I've asked a lot of people, who cares? Why even use a wooden spoon? Because when wooden spoons were popular, that was before we had Teflon. So nowadays it kind of makes sense because you won't scrape up the Teflon, right? But way back when I was a kid and everybody was using wooden spoons, there was no Teflon. Cross a busy street while reading a book. Is the early cell phone use, right? So anyway, that's all I have. I don't have a lot. It was a joke. Bush equals goat. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much weird symbology, and then the 9/11 weirdness just keeps building every year. I think there's a lot of weird stuff now, like the hurricane that was off the coast, that wasn't there originally. I'm now very suspicious that the original 9/11 had a lot less, because I kept just hearing, like, a few years went by after 9/11, and then I started hearing the weird stuff about it. I didn't hear it when it happened. So it was like, wait a minute, why is it like a couple years before? Usually if somebody's got some hot juice on something that happened, they're going to spill it right when everybody's talking about it. But I didn't. And then over the years, I just heard more and more stuff. And now that I'm watching because of the Mandela, I see there's definitely new stuff added over the last times I've checked. Wooden spoon thing is new for me. Okay, well, I'm glad for some of us. In Germany, when you open a champagne and it's not finished, you put a spoon in it and the bubbles stay in it. Another trick that I don't know if it works or not. Probably, though, because they're saying that the wood breaks up the bubbles. So it sounds like that champagne thing is the same strategy. See, I would have thought it wouldn't work because the pressure comes from below and it would just boil right past the spoon. But I guess not in this timeline anyway. I am politically egalitarian. I hate all politicians equally. Yeah, I'm pretty close to that. I would say that I don't hate all of them equally, but I definitely hate both sides fairly equally. Sometimes one on some things and sometimes the other one on other things. And there's some politicians that I think are less scummy than others. The spoon must be metal. No, they're saying it's wood. It's got to be wood because the rough surface of the wood helps pop the bubbles. I did do some reading on that. So at least current timeline is supposed to be wood. Actually, let me just put in spoon and see. But they were saying, okay, spoon breaks, stops boiling pot. Let me see if it works for any old spoon. But I know they said specifically that wood was good. All right, so I'm just typing in spoon. I didn't say metal, didn't say wood. All right, every image shows a wood one. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so it does not appear that metal works. It's funny because one guy had a video and it boiled up to like this high and then it stopped. And then he goes, see, it didn't work. Look, it's totally useless. But it only went to this high. It didn't go over the edge. I'm like, well, is that from a different timeline? In his mind, he's seeing it boil over? Because I'm like, it worked. It didn't boil over. That was a weird video. All right, so let's see. Spoon stops. What did you say it was? Wine? Champagne. Champagne. Spoon stops. Wood. What was you said? Was the spoon? Stop champagne bubbles. Ooh, that's cool. Is that art? Wood and acrylic stone bottle stopper. That's a very nice looking bottle stopper. Okay. Keep both bubbly bubbly. Alright, let's try web. Does a spoon in the bottle keep champagne? Just put a teaspoon, handle down, in the bottle's mouth. Many people have cited anecdotal evidence that this spoon helps keep sparkling wines effervescent in the fridge. Oh, okay. Huh. So that's different. That's to preserve the bubbles, not to keep them from spilling out. Belief seems to be prevalent in Europe, appears to be misplaced. I think it's a myth. Somebody did an experiment, some with spoons, some without. Sampled and scored the sparkling wines in a blind test. The result did not detect any boost in the sparkle of the spooned bottles. Mythbusters arrived at a similar conclusion. Okay, so it doesn't... Metal spoons don't preserve the bubbles, apparently, in the current timeline. At this exact minute, anyway. EM fields making me flare up angrily at people for no reason. Okay. I definitely do get, like, these moods where I'm just really mad and I don't know, like, at something. I don't know what. I hate those moods, so I just try to, like, stay away from people. Because if I'm not careful, I'll start whining and, like, wah, and it's easier to just not be around anybody, and then it passes on its own. Man, a bunch of Mandelas about Kurt Cobain. Okay, he's still dead though, right? Better to drink the whole bottle. All right, well, I'm pretty much done. So if you have anything. Building, your government attacked itself to go to war. Yeah, Building 7 was demolished. Yeah, see, there wasn't originally video of them saying we'll pull the building. That showed up, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago. That's the 9/11 we're talking about. All right, I think I'm done then. If you guys have anything else, otherwise I'm out of here. I heard today that Canada made the third jibby-jabby mandate. Ugh. Glad I'm not there. Does anybody remember that echidnas lay eggs? I do remember echidnas laying eggs. Do they no longer lay eggs? Echidnas. They were weird that way. Let's see if they still do. Do echidnas lay eggs? Then a female lays one egg. The egg is different than eggs you might be familiar with. It's leathery. I actually don't remember that, but I do remember them laying eggs. When did I learn that echidnas laid eggs? I don't think it was like eons ago, so there's always a chance it's still a Mandela, but I've known about it for fairly long. Christopher Lloyd is still alive. I don't know that person. Okay, well, I think it's time for me to shove off. Yeah, I've come up with, hopefully there'll be a few more Mandelas. Some, like, really good, interesting ones. I just think we remember platypuses giving live birth. Dang, you know, it's like the past gets fuzzy at some point. I feel like I used to know these things a lot better. Some universities are demanding the third arm pokety. I think I did hear about that. Canada. Some Western students confused why university mandated a third pokety after they paid tuition. Third doses and who needs them? All right, CBC News. I think this is Canadian news. This is, I think, old news. Yeah, October 2021. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Let's go to Google for this. Google's good for some things, and when it's finding the current narrative that you're supposed to be brainwashingly believing, it's good for that. Canada requires third news. This is why I like it, because you can find recent stuff. So it looks like it's Western University. Okay, so it does not appear to be everywhere, but university victims will have to deal with it. Canada is like old-time Germany. I feel like Australia, too, and UK are barking up that tree. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you look at what happened during the pandemic, you actually had less rights and freedoms than old-time Germany. So it's loosened up some now, but it's definitely, I feel, going in that direction again. With the seizing of the bank accounts. Australia is just throwing people in jail because they don't like them. Basically, they'll just label you like a threat to the state, and they don't have to have any actual proof or evidence. They just say, well, we don't like what you're saying, so you're a threat to the state. That's like next level. September's coming, probably same again like last year. I don't think they're going to get away with it again, especially not here. People are just ignoring it. They can try, but the last lockdown they tried to have here, people were ignoring it. So I think they ended it early because everybody was ignoring it. So why try to force something when everyone's ignoring it? I've heard that in Russia it was similar. For the most part, they ignored a lot of it. I don't know about the obedience level in Canada and Australia. They might go for it. In UK, they arrest people that offend other people. I did see that video. Now, I heard that they've decided to dial that back and not have that police force unit anymore, but that doesn't mean they won't be doing that anymore. So basically, somebody in the UK passed on a meme that was, it wasn't really homophobic, but it did involve a rainbow flag or something, and it was kind of borderline, and he just passed it on. And the police came to his house over this one stupid meme. He didn't even invent the meme, he just passed it on the internet. And they were saying they had to pay this huge fine for, I forgot even what their excuse was. They said it was the meme though. And he refused, and then they arrested him, and it was all on video, and there was a big stink about it. But yeah, UK is definitely getting next level scary on the censorship, definitely. The UK and Australia for sure. I haven't heard so much on the censorship in Canada, but they're doing the travel restrictions. So anyway, I just don't see them, maybe a few countries will go for it, but I think a lot of countries are not going to put up with too much more. They can do some weak mandates, but there's going to be, people aren't going to not go over to their boyfriend or girlfriend's house, and they're still going to go out and eat. I just don't see people doing that. Every time they try to enforce it, the obedience is less and less. So I wouldn't say Canada's Third Reich, but they're moving in that direction in a disturbing way. I would definitely say that. So you got to remember, in Germany, it didn't become extreme all at once. There was a gradual ramp up, and that's why, it's not as bad as the worst time in Germany. It's not as bad as the worst time in Germany, but there are many parallels to the beginning of the Third Reich and how it was rolled out bit by bit. So, people are going to have to put a stop to it, or I don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, the arrest. Oh, yeah, you're right about the arrests about the truckers. You're right. There was those. So, yeah, Canada. Bye-bye, Canada. I'm not going there unless they get that cleaned up. All right, anyways, I'm done. I better shut up before YouTube doesn't like me. Because, of course, we would always obey the law here. We are good doobies, right? Right. We love our overlords, and we will do what they say. Right, YouTube? So calm down, YouTube. All right. Anyways, guys, take care. Think good thoughts, everybody, even though I wasn't doing a very good job of it just now, but try. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.